Good afternoon and welcome. As Bob indicated, the day after St. Patrick's Day. I hope you are all doing well. So let's get into it and talk about AI that you can use on GoFor Lunch for March 18th, 2025. It's 25. Brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm your host, Roger Harmon, and we are here to make your technology work for you. Hi, Kurt. It is Global Recycling Day, so we are encouraged to reduce, reuse, and recycle. And of course, our favorite place to recycle our electronics is Keeper of the Grumper, conveniently located at 3219 North First Avenue. That's just north of Fort Lowell on the west side of the street. Their hours now, according to their website and according to their telephone answering message, is 8 to 5. So, and then that's Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday, I think it may be like 10 to 3. So, if you have any used electronics, including even kitchen appliances, they actually do take CRT TVs and monitors, which most places don't anymore, or they charge you for them. Then keeperofthegrumper.org is where you can get more information so that you can allow someone to reuse it if it's reusable, and they will responsibly recycle it if it's not. keeperofthegrumper.org. So let's start off with a definition of artificial intelligence. It is the application of computer systems able to perform tasks or produce output normally requiring human intelligence, especially by applying machine learning techniques to large collections of data. So artificial intelligence was founded as an academic discipline in 1956. So it's been around for a while, but as you probably know, it's had a recent boom because the models that they brought out in the last several years have been much more capable. Part of this is natural language processing, NLP, which allows programs to read, write, and communicate in human languages. In other words, it allows us to talk to and have our computers talk to us. Us talk to them, them talk to us. You get the idea. So generative pre-trained transformers, which is what GPT stands for, are large language models, LLMs, that generate text based on semantic relationships between words in sentences. So in other words, they are really not artificial intelligence. They just are computer systems with tons and tons of data, and they match your question with the data that they know and give you an answer. But we always must remember that they're not infallible. They can, the nice word of way of saying it is hallucinate. The reality is they lie to you. So you can never want to depend 100% on a response, especially if you have the feeling it's not right. There are some systems out there that will give you the sources that they use to provide an answer. So I think one is called ARC, and so you should probably look at things like that to make sure you're getting the truth. So these GPT models are pre-trained on large quantities of data that can be and probably were scraped from the internet without regard for trademarks and copyrights and things like that. That's a legal matter that is yet to be settled about the legality of how these LLMs got all their information. So current models and services include Gemini from Google, ChatGPT, Grok from X, Claude, I think, is from Anthropic, Copilot from Microsoft, and Llama from the people that bring you Facebook, Meta. So common AI uses presently include search engines such as DuckDuckGo. They target online advertising to you. There are recommendation systems such as when you're looking for a movie in Netflix or some content in YouTube or a product on Amazon. AI is being used to provide you with what you are seeking. And they drive internet traffic and targeted advertising by Google and Facebook, so they are trying to give you the ads they think you want. And then there are virtual assistants such as the ones you listed there, which I will not say out loud for obvious reasons. So common AI uses presently include autonomous vehicles such as drones and self-driving cars. In Phoenix, they have the Waymo cars that are driving all around Phoenix without a driver. Automatic language translation from companies like Microsoft and Google. And facial recognition like Apple's Facial ID all use AI. Don't forget the image labeling in Apple Photos where it can identify faces and put those faces together in your photo library. In health and medicine, it can potentially increase patient care and quality of life. An AI, because it has so much more information than any one human being could possibly have, can accurately diagnose and treat patients. For example, in 2023, it was reported that an AI-guided drug discovery helped find a class of antibiotics capable of killing 2 different types of drug-resistant bacteria. So because it has such a great capability for comparing things and learning things and bringing up conclusions, it's going to help us in the health and medicine arena. So generative artificial intelligence is when you write in a text to describe an image that you want it to create. Some of the systems that do this right now are Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, DALL-E, and a text-to-video AI generator such as Sora. So all you do is you describe it in a text prompt. We also are calling that prompt engineering, which is the art of phrasing a prompt in such a way that you get the desired result. So there's kind of an art to getting the right text or prompt in there to achieve the results that you desire. So you can access AI on your Apple devices. Your voice assistant can do it by talking to it. You can use your Safari web browser to get to these websites that I've described, such as ChatGPT, and you can use notes and messages to save those responses. So this is an example of a lady who is using her Safari web browser to access an AI website. And I generated this by typing in a phrase, and I got a bunch of different responses. This is the one I liked the best. Some of them were okay, some of them were terrible, some of them didn't match my criteria at all. And I used a website called Crayon, spelled CRAIYON.com. And it is free, so you can get in there and you can create your own images from your typed in prompts. In the health and wellness area, you could ask us a question like, what are gentle exercises? And you would get a response that probably walking and getting some vitamin D because you're in the sunlight, are great ways to improve your health. Or you could say, what foods help lower my blood pressure? And you could get a response of the different kinds of foods that would help in that area. You could also use your Apple Watch to make sure that if you fall, somebody knows about it. It will, as you probably know, if you fall and you are wearing an Apple Watch, it will automatically call 911 as well as alert anybody else that you added to that app. And of course you can cancel that if you're okay, but it's really nice to have that feature. Your Apple Watch will also warn you of any irregularities in your heart. So that's also done through artificial intelligence. Hello, Deb and Chris. So you can help you manage medications and appointments. You can say, remind me to take a pill at 8 p.m. And of course, the Health app on your Apple devices has a special section where you can set up the actual medications that you're supposed to take and the time that you're supposed to take, and even if it's several times a day. So you can have a morning setup, a noon setup, and an evening setup, whatever you need. It's all in your Apple Health app. So you can also use your voice assistant to create reminders on your iPhone and your iPad. And of course, the Health app has other ways that it helps you keep track of your health. In the area of safety and security, you can stay safe online by having AI help you. It can spot scams. If you get an email that you are thinking may be a little suspicious, you can simply copy that email into one of these chatbots and have it analyze it and let it tell you whether it thinks it is a scam or not. So that's really a nice feature. It can also give you tips on what kind of scams are prevalent at the moment and how to avoid them. Safety and security would be like a doorbell camera. So a doorbell camera can actually detect people, it can detect pets, it cannot detect blowing tree branches, and it can also detect packages, either with or without a human being. Another safety factor of a doorbell camera is that you can talk to somebody at your door without opening your door or without even being at home. Of course, you wouldn't tell them you're not at home, so you want your house to feel like somebody is there. So that's a great way to use artificial intelligence. You can get emergency help with AI assistance. You can tell your voice assistant to call 911. You could say, where is the nearest urgent care? Or where is the nearest 24-hour pharmacy? And it will come up with an answer. In this case, it was using Yelp for urgent cares located in my area. So that is another way that AI can help you. Home maintenance, made simple. So it can give you step-by-step instructions on how to repair something, like how to fix a leaky faucet, or when should I change the batteries in my smoke detector, and countless other chores that maybe after you read the step-by-step instructions, you can save some money by doing it yourself and not calling a professional. And we all know that plumbers and electricians, though they are competent, they are also expensive. So you can use a personal assistant for to-do lists, remind you to water the plants on Tuesday, or make a grocery list and tell it the kinds of food that you want to put on your grocery list. You can use it to research and be a smart shopper. Like you could say, what's the best iPad for seniors? And it could give you the pros and cons, or whether you want the standard iPad or the iPad Air or the iPad Pro. And of course, you can apply this to any kind of a product where it will give you information, unlike a search engine, which gives you a bunch of different entries and then you have to look at each one. An AI will give you one answer, and again, you want to check the sources that it used to make sure that it's giving you the straight skinny. You could also say something like compare hearing aids under $500. There's now over-the-counter hearing aids, and there's a lot of them. So you could use that to kind of narrow down the field and see which one would be best for you. So here is a link for the best AI chatbots for your phone, your iPad, and your Mac, and that is down in this description right here down below us. So make sure and check that out. And they did list DeepSeek in their list, which I was kind of surprised. I would not recommend DeepSeek. We feel that DeepSeek has controlled by the Communist China government, and anything you put in there would be given to them, possibly, so you don't want to use DeepSeek. So that brings us to questions. If you haven't already, put your questions and comments in the chat, and do me a favor and please share our YouTube videos and our GoFor Gazette, which comes to your email inbox every Monday morning about 7 o'clock, with anyone that you know that uses Apple devices. And give us a thumbs up. So we always tell you before you do an update on your operating systems to kind of check around and see what's going on. And I did that today on iOS 18.3.2 and found out that a lot of people are complaining that it's broken their iCloud Mail. Thanks for the thumbs up. And so if you use iCloud Mail like iCloud.com, Mac.com, Me.com, you probably don't want to update to iOS 18.3.2 because it has a bug. So let's see if Apple, so far Apple hasn't acknowledged this problem, but maybe there'll be an 18.3.3 coming out soon that will fix this little issue. So if you're not using iCloud Mail, that is the only thing that I could find that was seemed to be a lot of people complaining about. TMUG tonight, the Tucson Macintosh Users Group meets tonight, always on the third Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard and Pacific Daylight Time. We have the Ask Me Anything, where you can do just that to our panel of experts. And at 7 we'll have the general meeting, and tonight's feature is SetApp. SetApp is a subscription service that gives you access to over 200 different apps on the Mac and some on the iPhone for a low monthly subscription of $9.99, I think, or $9.95. So join us tonight for the TMUG meeting, and you'll find the SetApp apps that some of us use, and so you might discover something that would be handy for you to have at this very reasonable price. So let's see what you have to say here. And I see we have a comment from Bob, who says, AI can give you a wrong answer, but it will do it with great confidence. So trust, but verify. Great words of wisdom, Bob. Thank you. So this AI thing, we don't need to be afraid of it. It may be replacing some jobs in some fields, but throughout history, technology that's come along that replaced some jobs always have created other jobs. So you could become a prompt engineer, or you could become a human verifier that works on these AI systems and verifies their answers. So the AI industry is creating jobs in itself, that machines so far cannot do. Now, of course, we're scared that the robots will take over the world and decide that the humans are not necessary, but that's probably not going to happen in our lifetime. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would use this resource to save you time and money and to broaden your horizons. So there's a lot of ways that you can use it right now to help you in everyday information. So hopefully this has been helpful and kind of given you some more information and some resources to use artificial intelligence. We probably should mention that Apple's intelligence, also called AI, seems to have slowed down a little bit. We were hoping to have an improved Siri in iOS 18.4, but Apple has said that that is going to be delayed until next year maybe, or maybe later this year. It's kind of unclear the way they worded it. So it's coming, but it's not ready for prime time, which is probably a good thing that they didn't release it and cause a lot of people to be unhappy. So they are going to refine it and make sure it's right before they release it. So Apple is moving in the artificial intelligence area very cautiously. They have partnered with ChatGPT, so if you have the latest operating system, you can access ChatGPT through your voice assistant whose name starts with an S. And so you have to turn that on. And if you do an update at the operating systems and you don't want it, you have to turn it off, because apparently in the last few updates, the update has turned the ChatGPT other artificial intelligence services on automatically. And Chris says he uses Summarize and Proofread and writing tools every day. It's a game changer for him. And Denny, welcome Denny. As the AI and Watch has worked in real time twice. Let's see here, there's more. Twice to go to have what, Denny? I don't know if it cut it off on my end or. So let me know what you're talking about there. Your watch has worked in real time twice. So I'm wondering if that is if you fell or you had a heart problem. Let us know how it helped you, because I know there's so many stories of Apple Watches helping people. Of course, an Apple Watch will also sense a crash in an automobile or on a bicycle and give you 60 seconds to turn it off before it notifies emergency services to respond to your location. So it has been life-saving for dozens of people. Well, thank you all for being here. As always, if you think of anything after the fact. Yes, okay, Denny was talking about falls. Yep. Good, Denny, thanks. If you think of anything that you'd like to have more information on, you can call me or you can email me, and that information is coming up right now. So have a terrific Tuesday, and join us again next Tuesday at high noon for another GoFor Lunch.